Thank you, everybody, for joining, per usual. If you don't know already, I'm Hunter, the community manager over here at Arbitrum. And today, for today's Twitter Space, we are joined by the MiniMax finance folks. Dennis behind the company account, the CEO, as well as Val, the COO of MiniMax. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good, thank you. How are you?
Doing very, very well. I'm very excited about today's chat. A huge fan of aggregation, in terms of DeFi stuff. And just for those who don't know, a very quick overview. MiniMax Finance essentially is a hub of multi-chain yield aggregators. Uh, it's like I think I put it in the Twitter announcement earlier. I think it's like aggregating aggregators. We're gonna use the word aggregate a
We're
lot today.
aggregating everything that can be aggregated, whether those are aggregators or any other platforms.
Beautiful. Yes. So I think just happy to jump into it, and I'm sure this conversation is going to go many different ways. But just for just to give people a better understanding, what does Minimax.finance do?
So in addition to aggregation, we also develop a set of tools to make investing in DeFi much more user-friendly and much more efficient. So we've added features like stop loss and take profit for staking, lending, yield farming, so that people who at least who want to engage in those activities, they can have a kind of safety guard which will watch their deposit and will not let them depreciate too much, or vice versa, which will automatically fix the profit if everything goes well. And in addition to that, we're also doing features like conversion depositing. What that means is, for example, very often the most lucrative opportunities in DeFi are related to LP tokens, and those LP tokens are not always easy to get because you have to find one token, then the other one, then add them to some liquidity pool, and so on. And we, in our application, allow to choose just any token a person has, and all the exchange and LP adding liquidity operations are done by our smart contracts, which makes life much easier for people.
Yeah, actually, I can add on top of that. So we are changing our high-level vision now. So we can say that we are not just yield aggregator, but actually some kind of meta app, some application where you can have high-level overview of the Web3 space and interact with your favorite protocols in the one page. So this is like our new vision, and we will add more sections. For example, we have a section earn, which is responsible for yield aggregation for now. In the future, we will add borrow, NFT, and other sections, and well portfolio tracker.
Yeah, no, definitely a very interesting concept. So I mean, just for those who are like very familiar with DeFi, I remember personally like a long time ago, one of my favorite DApps, or my favorite type of DApp really, was like aggregators, essentially like vaults that are able to kind of auto compound your rewards, whether you're providing liquidity in a pool, or if you just kind of want to just accumulate like a ton of like some random meme coin. So I think Minimax in that way seems like it's delivering not only on that front, but as you mentioned, like for those who are able to kind of look at the app, you guys have beefy vaults on there, but you also have Aave on there, which is what you were mentioning earlier, which I think is really cool. I mean, for example, like I don't personally use Aave to take out loans or to borrow anything, just because I feel like all that like the fear of being liquidated to me is a little too scary. But it seems like MiniMax is able to kind of automate that in some sort of way, right?
We for lending platforms currently we support only lending, not borrowing.
Even better.
But
Yeah,
we may add that down the road. Yes.
We can automate like some routine operations when you track how far you are from liquidation. So you can actually set stop loss parameter and to define some trigger price level to not let liquidation be performed. So you can avoid liquidations using stop loss parameter.
Got you. And I think what I'd love to know too is just how you guys like came up with the idea of doing something like this. I feel like especially because I mean I would have never thought like again like being a hub for aggregators would be something that like is very wanted by different people in the community. But I think yeah, depending on how you execute it, like it could make like like a great amount of sense. But yeah, like how did you guys come up with the idea in the first place?
It all started with an idea of developing stop loss and take profit features for lending, staking, and yield farming, because a little bit more than a year ago we came across this problem that people are losing quite a lot of money on these kind of activities. But surprisingly, there was no platform at the time which provided such features. And then the idea grew, and it came to aggregation and providing other features as well, which help people to more easily monitor and manage their investments in DeFi.
I feel like especially in a bull market, I feel like there's probably just an how do you say unstoppable stream of like new projects coming out with like their own tokens and their own like types of again like aggregation methods and stuff like that. So I'm sure like in a bear market, it's much easier to kind of build and like focus on like the platforms that you know are going to be here long term versus the ones that like pop up today and are gone tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
So in what way would you say MiniMax is like different from? I mean, honestly, like the beefies of the world or other just like regular aggregation platforms.
What makes us different from these platforms is a set of unique features, like I mentioned, for example, stop loss, take profit, conversion depositing, and we are also working on more elaborate features for portfolio tracking and for managing all the investments people have in various protocols. So we are trying to become a kind of, like you mentioned at the very start, a kind of hub for all DeFi, and so that people could easily access and manage it in one place and have some peace of mind in their life for a change.
Yeah, and on top of that, we have embedded cross-chain swaps. We partnered with the Bridge Finance, and you can, for example, swap tokens from BNB chain to Arbitrum, any arbitrary token pair. Yeah. So actually, we aggregate not only some staking strategies how Beefy does, but we aggregate, for example, lending protocols and every black box which can generate some yield. So we have a concept of black box generating some value, and we can aggregate all kind of protocols. For example, some protocols with put sell options. Maybe you aware about this protocol, I don't know. Some complex financial apps and so on. So we will aggregate everything.
In terms of like an options protocol, like have you guys thought about doing that on Arbitrum specifically? Because I think currently I only see Beefy and I think Aave on there.
Yes, you mean if we are planning to add more protocols on Arbitrum to our platform?
Yeah, and even beyond that too, like the idea of like making listing permissionless or not, and like what kind of
Yeah,
your
yeah.
take on the inside
Sorry,
of
I
this.
forgot to mention that we will open our public repository, so every app will have an opportunity to list in MiniMax. So you will be able like to create a small pull request. So actually, this is kind of technical information, but yeah, so you will able to integrate your own protocol inside MiniMax, and we will just review your code and give an approval. So there will be like much easier to integrate a lot of protocols in the near future.
And one of the protocols that we are planning to integrate on Arbitrum very soon is the dForce.
No, yeah, I can see you guys are definitely going after the lending protocol specifically, right?
Well, yes, it's like one of our, if I can say so, specialties.
What about like leverage protocols? Is that possible? Like, can we get like a GMX or a mycelium in there? Does that even make sense technically? Because I mean, I know you're not really getting yield unless you actually, like guess the obviously the short of the long correctly.
Do you mean like add some leverage protocols so users will be able to use leverage when they deposit their funds?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, actually, we thought about that opportunity, and we are looking on some modern decisions like Abracadabra Money and Gearbox Finance. They protocols are modern, and they like in test phase. After they will go broadly and to be well tested, we can integrate with them, and every user will have possibility to use leverage just out of the box for every protocol we already aggregated.
It sounds scary, but I like it.
Uh, Actually, yeah. So it's like a huge amount of work to be done, and actually, this is not like something which is which can be done in a short period of time. This all code base should be audited. These new features. And in terms of security, yes, there will be some concerns, and all you need to remember that all modern tools and features that you use, they will increase the risk of smart contracts being hacked and exploited.
No, it's definitely a great point. I think maybe like what would also help people know as well is what maybe like the added benefits are from using Minimax over so for example using for example Beefy through Minimax versus just using Beefy itself, since you are adding technically like as you said like another layer of like risk technically.
Yeah, yeah, that's the right point. And we are thinking about allowing our users to put their money directly, like switching between direct mode if you don't need our automation features like stop loss and take profit. So you interact with our user-friendly interface, but your funds go directly into, for example, Beefy pools without additional layer of risk.
And I think that's one of the coolest parts about crypto is like because we have this nature of like interoperability. It's like you can literally just plug in any smart contract from a different protocol. Obviously they have their own UI. You have your own UI, but you're still using like the same pools, the same contracts, and everything. But yeah, it's just I love DeFi. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the greatest benefits of this whole ecosystem.
100%. And is the reason that is the reason why you guys are kind of like really honing in on like aggregation as well, just because like maybe you've had experience with that with aggregators before, and you felt like there was a better way to maybe like display how aggregation is currently made. Because I mean, as you mentioned earlier, UI seems to be kind of your biggest. It's UI seems to be kind of like your biggest proposal, I guess, for the community to use MiniMax. And, I mean, and even just using the protocol itself, like I love how like the APY, the TVL, the price, etc. They're all like kind of charted in a very like nice, legible manner, that more so than most other protocols, I should say. Um, but yeah, it's like UI is definitely like your goal here. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yes, like better UI essentially.
Sure, sure. That's one of our priorities because when DeFi started, people didn't really care much for interfaces, for performance, for anything else. Uh, Everybody who entered the space just wanted to launch something quick and dirty, and he or she would attract millions or even billions of dollars in TVL, and everything would be fine. But now, as the ecosystem matures, interfaces, usability, performance, security, all these aspects are becoming more and more important, and users are becoming more and more picky. And when they see that something works better, some platform works better than the other, they'll definitely would prefer it. And that's one of our biggest bets, among other things like features for automated funds management.
Yeah, so when we started the first version of Minimax, we saw that Beefy actually is kind of laggy, and we decided to do our own centralized cache backend, which is responsible for fetching data very quick. So users will see good performance in our application. So that was like one of our main priorities when we started to build Minimax Finance. And actually, we have this centralized part now. That's why our performance is better.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's pretty cool that you guys are able to kind of shift, and it seems like pretty quickly, I guess, from a more decentralized model. On the topic of decentralization, like, is there some form of like a minimax token that like is used to govern the protocol in any way, or?
We haven't launched the token yet because we think that the current market conditions would not help us to make it a successful launch, and we don't want to see it just plummet like all the other tokens do nowadays. Therefore, we are postponing that moment for the time for some better times when Bitcoin starts growing again and the bear finally goes to hibernation.
I like that. um, so like, how are currently at least how are vaults, proposed to be listed currently? Like, do you guys have to be in touch with the team to kind of get them done, or is it like just user feedback from
Uh,
the Discord?
no, we don't need to get in touch with the team. We can, but and we do these days. But like when we started, we just saw some interesting platforms and integrated them because like DeFi is an open system. You can do that, and but of course we also paid attention to people's opinions about the platforms and which platforms were more popular and uh, availability of interesting vaults with high yield and with some high security was also a top priority.
Yeah, when we started developing Minimax, we were active DeFi users. And the problem is you don't see the whole space. You need to monitor each separate protocol on your own, and if you miss something, then you won't be able to discover new opportunities, and possibly you will you will lose your funds due to absence of your knowledge. So actually, we decided to build a very convenient place where you can manage your tokens and see high-level overview of all opportunities where you can, for example, deposit your tokens, or maybe purchase some perspective, some promising tokens, and so on.
And that'll be separate from the current vault system, right? So it's like you'll be able to track tokens and positions and stuff like that apart from what's already listed in the vault section or in the earn section. I mean,
Yes. So actually, we don't provide opportunity to discover new promising tokens at now. We have that feature in our plans, but we have tokens page where you can see all tokens you have in your wallet, even some tokens which don't have corresponding walls to be invested in. And you can use these tokens. For example, when you selected some vault you like, and you don't want to waste your time converting your token, which is not in this vault, and you can just do a single atomic transaction, and we will convert your token, which is not presented in some vaults on MiniMax. We will convert your token automatically to purchase token to deposit.
got you, got you. And I guess just to kind of bring it back around a little bit to the potential token launch. Do you guys have an idea when you're actually gonna like I guess launch the token itself and then for the decentralize the protocol?
We think about launching the token probably within 6 to 12 months or so. It will depend if the market conditions suddenly improve. We might do that earlier, but these are the ballpark. This is the ballpark time frame we're thinking about, and as soon as we do that, it will be the next logical step to be for the token to be as useful as possible. So of course it will become a governance token soon after that. We'll introduce DAO as well.
Yeah, we will go for decentralization, but we want firstly to build a strong community. So when we did decentralization and launched our DAO token, then our development process will slow down a bit, as every new version of protocol should be accepted by the community. So we really want to build a strong community first, and then go for decentralization.
Yeah, no, totally. I think it totally makes sense. And is there like an idea? So I mentioned it earlier, for example, of like I would assume part of the governance process would be like listing vaults and stuff like that until that becomes permissionless. Are there any other parts of the protocol that need to be governed technically?
So yeah, so we actually can allow access for governance in many parts of our protocol. For example, we don't take fees from depositing or withdrawing tokens. At least for now, but in the future we will have our own token, some staking pools, and we will buy back our own token using that fees. And for example, with governance, users will be able to select fee levels like uh, 0.5% or something like that. And yeah, so you already said that we can allow users to select to vote for protocols which can be added to the platform and so on. We don't have precise plan for now, but we are sure that we will go for decentralization eventually.
Awesome, yeah. I think then just to kind of it's well, let's kind of bring it all together here. In terms of future plans you guys have, as you mentioned, decentralizing the protocol, probably more vaults coming. Is there anything else that we missed?
I think we've already discussed pretty much everything that we are planning to do in the near and middle term. And what concerns longer term plans, it's very difficult to look so much ahead because the situation is changing, the market is changing, and probably what we will tell now won't happen in a couple of years just
Yeah,
because
actually,
the market is so flexible.
Yeah, actually, we have a new roadmap, but it's not reflected in our documentation. I can briefly describe our plans. So we already partnered with Gelato Network for automation features, and we will use their protocol, which is a solution actually, which is called Gelato Relay. Users will be able to send transactions without switching say blockchain in MetaMask. So when you, for example, want to deposit funds, you just sign message and do that cross chain without switching your wallet. And we will introduce gasless transactions, so you will be able to deposit your funds without having native tokens in blockchain. We will cut a bit from your from your deposit to cover gas expenses, but you don't need to do this purchasing operation of a native token and keep this balance not keep this balance greater than zero. Actually, we will launch on Ethereum like in a few days. So we already started working on integrating Lido Finance. So you will be able to stake Ethereum with stop loss. In terms of some features, some new cool features, yeah, we already discussed leverage. We will plan and research this opportunity, and we strongly wish to introduce this leverage feature. It will bring us more users. Yeah, so in near terms we have these plans.
Maybe the two biggest things we've missed during the conversation is that we're also planning integration of on-ramp, fiat on-ramp functionality and insurance platforms so that people can insure their deposits with us.
Yeah, and the feature we already discussed is opening access to our listing repositories that every protocol on Arbitrum will be able to list in our earn section, or maybe in some section which will arrive in future. So it will be easier to list in our app, and there will be more earn opportunities listed in our protocol in Arbitrum.
Awesome. See, I knew there was something we missed. Very good. Right. I think that's like all stuff that like, especially if you're making your own. If the whole purpose here is to make everything very user friendly, having an on ramp and the rest of those things is very very key. to doing so, especially if you want to onboard people directly into MiniMax rather than like having them go through an exchange or anything else first. Yeah, I think with that we could probably throw it to some of the audience here. I think I have a person or two that has their hand raised. Let me see here. Let's see if we can bring up
Sure.
someone.
By the way, I see a comment where one person called us a scammer team. I'd be happy to talk to that, to listen to a question from that person. So for them to explain why they think so, it would be really great.
I think they're trolling. It's all right.
Okay.
Oh man. Hanur, you are on. What do you got for us, buddy? Assuming you're still there. Maybe we'll bring up someone else in the meantime, just in case. They had their hand raised a little while ago. That's why. All right. Bam. Okay. All right. Bring it on, Crypto High. Hey. What do you got for us? Any cues? Any questions? All right. Second person. Interesting. All right. Let's see. Hold on. There's one more person that has their hand raised. Let's see if they're there. This only happened to me, I think, like once before. Well, it's happened to me twice before. Well, let's see. Let's see. Bringing up Rubik's.
Yo, good evening.
Hi.
Rubik's. What's going
Hi
on, dude?
there. Good evening.
Yeah. Um, it's been an amazing space. Well, even though I joined not long ago. So actually, what attracted me to join the space was the name itself, because I saw the name of the protocol, MiniMax, and I remembered while I wrote an article 2 weeks ago. I remembered on game theory because I'm a token economist. So I remembered the word minimax now, minimax in game theory. So why would these people name their protocol minimax? That was why I joined the space, and then I started checking up and then started looking into what exactly you guys are building and then your innovation. So I saw that you guys are a yield aggregator, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It's very amazing. That's quite amazing. Very good. So, even to ask the first, just like I said, the first question, why the name? Because I was really curious about the name as well. And then, okay, are you on
Yeah,
that?
that's a really cool question. I can answer that. So actually, we started with this name due to slogan: minimize risks and maximize profits. But that's not only one reason why we named this protocol Minimax. So actually, we have a team of engineers who, in the past, took part in competitive programming competitions. And I'm aware of game theory and know concept of Minimax. So our team members, they liked this name because of they have good memories about Minimax concept and know a bit of game theory.
Oh, that's very nice and amazing. So that's cool because same thing, just like you said, minimize the risk and then maximize the profit. That goes with the idea of the real meaning of Minimax itself. So that's amazing. And then what from my observation, some of the yield aggregator protocols that I know always engage themselves in what's it called? They always engage themselves in, can't remember the name. Sorry, don't mind me. I think that slipped my mind again. So, well, if I remember, I might come up. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for the question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I had no idea, by the way, that's what MiniMax meant. That's pretty cool. All right, we're bringing up Hanur again. Let's see. Hanur, what do you got for us? Hanur, anything? I know you didn't come up here just to troll us, did you? Okay, someone else is requesting. I'll bring them up. Hanur, I think that might have been your last chance. Let's see here. I think that person might have declined as well. Just in case, just so we can kind of make sure people's questions are answered. If someone does want to join the MiniMax community, or want to take part in, collaborating in the protocol somehow, how would they go ahead and do that?
They can do that by any means of communication they find comfortable for themselves. For example, in our Telegram chat, or via Twitter or Discord, or anywhere else where they because we are present on quite many social networks, and they can reach out to us wherever it's comfortable for them. They can find the list of the social media we are on in our docs section at the bottom, and also at the bottom of our application.
Perfect, awesome. But yeah, no, I mean, in that case, we really appreciate you guys for coming up today. You already heard it. If you want to join the community, go ahead and do so by the Discord or the link that they have in the.
Yeah, sure. If you suddenly remember that you've wanted to ask something and forgot to do that, please feel free to reach out to us via any means available to you. So we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And of course, please feel free to join our community for our project updates, the token news, and so on.
Perfect. Yeah, no, especially with you guys saying token news, I'm sure they'll be running to the Discord.
Okay, we're waiting for them everywhere.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on today. You'll have a
Thank you
good
very
Friday.
much. Thank you very much for
Yeah, thank
inviting
you.
us.
Have a good day.
Yes, have a nice weekend. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.